Yeah, I don't do any of these videos, but that's okay. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta say it however you say it, you know. I'm gonna say it this way. I'm not as holy as I want to be, I guess, if that makes sense. You know, I'm not. I may not live as righteous as I want to live from time to time, but you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of like I'm human. You know, I could tell you that. You know, I've been to church maybe one time in the last month because my work schedule. I get up late and all that. But then here's the thing: I don't know how and why God chooses to bless you, chooses to say, you know what, keep doing what you're doing, or keeping on. You know, and I find myself just like, you know, it's funny as I peered back for a minute today. I'm like, okay, I'll just go down to church, listen to the message, talking about marriage, being unequally yoked, and being single, and that kind of stuff, right? So it's kind of a mix of things. But yeah, um, you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like there's too many people out there that are trying to be perfect, trying to live the perfect life, trying to think that, oh man, I gotta have the perfect job, perfect wife, perfect kids, everything's gotta be perfect. And like, you know, show me the person that's like imperfect. Show me the person that's like, man, I just jacked off last night or last week, or I just got high about a couple days ago. You know, see, to me, I look at it this way: our churches are full of people that are just trying to be perfect, trying to look like they're perfect on the outside, when on the inside it's falling apart. It's like, why can't you just be real in who you are and be authentic instead of trying to hide because you don't want anybody else to know, you know? And that's the truth, you know. You know, and you have too many people that are full of the world. I think more than anything, they just aren't true and authentic to themselves. And then it's like almost creating that false sense of identity, you know, because you know, you're trying to live a certain status. You want a certain status so you can look good in the world's eyes, but then you look like crap, look like garbage in God's eyes, because He's looking at you like, really, you know. And it's like, you know, we try to put that facade on. I mean, sometimes I'll be honest and say that myself too sometimes, but you got to be real who you are and be who you're called to be. I think that's the main message in all of this. You know, it's so easy to get dialed into, well, I look a certain way, I gotta be a certain way, I gotta act a certain way, I gotta make sure my kids are behaving, and those, don't get me wrong, those things are all important, but sometimes just be real. Just being real in who you are and what you're all about, you know, because I think that's really where things are at. Because I mean, I can I look at all of the people that, you know, that I know that are people that I grew up with, well, many people that have ministries, people that have churches around here, and people that are just, you know, a picture says a lot about who somebody, well, a picture only tells a certain side of the story. You know, to really, and I've said this before online, you know, to really know um, the story of where somebody came from. You know, here's the thing. There's always a story behind a smile. You know, there's always a story behind a smile, no matter what, no matter who it is. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter if you had drugs last night, or you got drunk last night. You know, it's all the same. I mean, there's always a smile, something behind that smile that says a lot about who you are, about what you're about. You know, there's always those people out there that are trying to live that certain lifestyle. That, man, if I can only live this life, I will be accepted. I will be accepted in the beloved. You know, and I think a lot of times people want to do what's right. They want to do what they know is right. And this world is full of people that are trying to look a certain way. Here's the thing. If you are trying to have a certain standard that looks too much like the world, what are you really doing? You are basically lowered your standard. It's like this. God. We all know if you're part of the family, it's like that God sent His Son a couple thousand years ago. Never be perfect on our own. We could never be perfect on our own because we'll never measure up to His standards. His standards are way above and beyond what we think are good standards. I mean, it's like you will never be perfect. That's the reality of it. So quit trying to be this perfect person that's got to live a certain lifestyle. That has to be, you got to have perfect everything, almost like the Ken and Barbie, everything's got to be in place, and just be real, I think that's really what it comes down to, and I think there's a great freedom in that, a great healing in that, when you can free yourself up and say, you know what, I'm not perfect. I screwed up last night, but God's my witness, and admit it. I think that's really what it is, being real and authentic. And if you're not real and authentic, you're not in that place of just like vulnerable. It's really what it is vulnerability in terms of like, hey, I'm vulnerable before you all that I did this, da 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 da. And that takes strength, that takes power, that takes an inner strength to get to that point where you're just like, you know what, I can admit it. I can say, you know what, I've done it. I screwed up. Boom. Okay, that's okay. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Sometimes you have to just kind of, shake it off. I don't know. It's my Sunday sermon, I guess. Sometimes I'll get a message. I'm like, whoa. It wasn't even about that, But it's like when heaven invades your world. What does that look like? And to the next person over, that looks like something totally different. And that's really what it is. I'm not by any way, shape, or form, am I a perfect person? If I was, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I wouldn't be talking to you right here about this. I'm not a perfect person. Never have been. I don't think I ever will on this side of heaven, And see, so many people, everybody needs to get to that level, Stop worrying about, oh, I gotta be perfect. I'm like, you're gonna get all worked up over trying to be perfect instead of trying to be perfect and live right. Now there's a balance. Don't get me wrong. You can live right without having to live perfect. Living right means, it's all about your heart posture. If your heart posture is kind of like, I don't care one or the other, all right. But if your mindset is clear and you're like, oh, you know what, I messed up last night. Sorry. Second. And that's really what it is too. I don't know. I used to do videos like this all the time, and I just stopped doing this. I stopped doing them, I think, because I was always doing Facebook Live for a while there, and I know that a lot of people used to really like them. There was kind of that encouragement. Now I just do the pre-recorded kind, which is fine. Pre-recorded ones are just kind of like you can watch them at your leisure. I'm not distracted by like, hey, how's it going? I mean, if I was to do a Facebook Live right now, I'd probably have like a bunch of guys from the office or whatever, a bunch of buddies, hey, what's going on? That kind of thing. So I mean, in a way, it's kind of like, there's less distractions, and like, you do what you got to do, but I think it's so easy to get sidetracked into, a certain way, and then And then there's the other side of it too, where it's like, oh, if you need help, we have this. You know, here's the other. Our churches are full of like a smorgasbord of things, services. You know, like I go to mega church time to time, right? And it's kind of like the joke that an old comedian friend of mine used to tell all the time. He probably still tells that joke. You know, the drive-through church where it's like, I get a bless me sandwich and a sanctified and holy hamburger and two hallelujahs with it or something, you know, something along those lines. Like, okay. You get a couple hellfires with that too, and a couple holy waters to go along with it, I'll be set. You know, but yeah, there's a lot of, it's funny, but you know, there's a lot of truth to that. You know, we live in such a fast-paced world where it's like we try to make this thing with God try to be this on-the-go kind of thing. You look at all the apps out there. You know, it's like, you know, it never used to be that back in 2,000 years ago. Never used to have you didn't have all that technology. People actually had to go to a church and not you know, versus, hey, I can watch it online, you know. But don't get me wrong, it's good to have that accessibility now compared to then. I mean, you know, because you think of some third world countries, we have it so great over here, where in America, where you can go to your place of worship and not wonder if you're going to make it home, you know. I mean, there's some countries where it's house churches. Basically, if they catch you, you're done, kind of thing. Or it's like everything is highly regulated, or you can't, you know, it's in those really those Muslim countries where it's like, hey, you know. But that's, you know, of itself, that's kind of the deal, you know. So anyway, that's kind of the meat of what I was saying, I guess, if that makes sense. Sometimes you just gotta do what's in here, and let that guide and direct you as a child of God. You know? I think that's important, you know, and not to be like, well, yeah, so and so, I wouldn't be doing that. You know, it's like, you know, it's funny. Him and my thinking about, you know, a friend of mine, and we joke around about that stuff all the time, you know. And he's, you know, because it's the double-mindedness of it, you know. It's like it's so easy to get so locked up into trying to be perfect instead of living right. Focus on living right and doing good and doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. Guess what? Everything else is going to fall in line. You're gonna find yourself in a position of authority and position of power you never thought you could be in, you know, ruling and reigning. You know, it's like, whoa. You know, it's crazy over, you know. I mean, I believe this with all my heart, you know, that if God, the stars align, He could put you in a position where you're no longer just an employee. You're running your own company. You're doing your own thing. You're creating an opportunity for somebody else to move on up in the ranks, to do what they need to do. That's really what God is really wanting to do here, you know. And He's looking to try and see what can be accomplished, you know. So, that's all I'm saying. I know it's long-winded, long video, but, you know, it's all good, though. You know, I think I'll probably lose half the people that tune in and watch this video, but that's okay, you know. Not for everybody, you know. Some people are gonna be like, "What's he talking about?" I'm like, that's fine, you know. You gotta renew your mind. That's all it is, you know. So, I don't know. That's all it is. Happy Sunday. Peace out.